All right, looks like we're live. Welcome everybody back to another edition of Chairgatin. I'm your host, Rattlesnake, coming at you live once again from the Snake Pit in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, joined with my co-host Dakota, who's once again on the road. What up, Dakota?
Oh, back on the road, undue timing. I want to go home. I want to be back in my man cave. I want to be with all my NASCAR shit. But live from Valdosta, Georgia, we're down in the dirty South. We're still talking NASCAR, and we went to the race, dude. It was fucking awesome. Can't wait to break it down with you. Another episode live.
Let's do it.
Hey.
What's up? It's Chairgatin coming at you live.
Hello, come right in. Rock, flag, and eagle.
One thing's awesome though, this hotel's like got kick-ass Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, it looks fancy. You got like
Really?
lights behind you. Yeah, you're looking.
Yeah, this is
looking
a
fancy.
nice room. That's a nice room. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is good.
We already got a comment from Nick rolling in.
Dude, Nick,
y'all are
what's up?
becoming like NASCAR with these start times. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Late start time, but we figured we got to get an episode in while we can.
Yeah.
Because if you can't tell from the hat, we're both dads, both working dads. Unfortunately, this doesn't pay the bills yet. So here we are. By the way, you like the hat?
Dude, I love the hat. It's so clean. It's very Paul Swanish. But no, it looks good. It looks good. It's a good looking hat. I love the fit. That's my style.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's Barstool hat, which is affiliated with Old Row. So I think that still works. I'll give them a shout out. So obviously we're talking Charlotte. We're talking the Coke 600. Dakota was there.
The elephant in the room, are we going to say like best 600 of our generation?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm confidently saying that.
Is Charlotte back? Like, I think next gen just saved Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh, God, dude. Like, being there, like me and Nathan just being there was like, dude, this is like, even halfway, I was like, this racing has been amazing. I felt like I was being, I drank a couple beers, but I was like, I wouldn't shut up about, dude, this has been so good. And then I was like, I don't even care what TV thinks. But you were texting. I had some spotty service, but you texted me. You were like, dude, this has been amazing. I can't imagine what being there is like. And I'm like, it's fucking awesome. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I decided to text Dakota because anyone that knows Dakota knows how he is when he's at a race in person. He will always say it was an incredible race. So I just wanted to text him. I think it was like stage 3 or something, just to reassure him, like, no, dude, what you're witnessing is that fucking good. It's not because you're there. This race is incredible. Everybody loved it. We're gonna have to break it down, but
from start to finish, dude, it was.
I do want to mostly hear your experience, though, since you were there,
dude. Well, me and Nathan, we fucking just pulled the cord and said, "Fuck it." Like, Coke 600, Charlotte's not that far. Let's see let's just do it, man. Like, we both got busy summers going on. It's like we're not gonna have this opportunity often. We said, like, let's just go. Like, what are we gonna do? Watch it at home? It's only 4 hours away. So we just nutted up, left early.
Is it only 4 hours for you?
It's 4 hours and 20 minutes. Hey.
That's like only an hour further than me. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
because the worst part.
Well, I tried convincing you to go.
Well, the worst part, it was my grandma's 90th birthday, so like the whole family came in, so it was kind of hard to avoid. But then, of course, as my cousins are there, they're like, "Wait, what time did the race start?" And I was like, "Yeah, it starts at 6." And they're like, "Oh, dude, we should have went."
Oh my god!
And I was like, "Oh, you tell me now."
Yeah.
And the worst part is the night before the race. I believe it was like Friday night. Either way, it was midnight, and I had to pick up my brother from the airport in Charlotte. So I drove through Charlotte, took like a photo. Yeah, took a photo of like NASCAR headquarters in downtown.
How are you watching the race?
No, this was like the day before the race. And so I was in Charlotte like the night before the race. And I'm like,
oh my god,
damn
dude.
it.
You really were fucking the pooch.
Yeah, it was killing me. It was killing me.
Yeah, I've been to Charlotte Motor Speedway, but I've never been in Charlotte. So we left so early, like there was we drove up in like no time. The drive wasn't shit, and there was
drove up day of, right?
Yeah, we drove up early Sunday morning, and like we got in Charlotte at like 10 a.m. And we were like, dude, like the race is into 6. Like we knew we were gonna be there early. We were gonna go eat at a bar and like chill out and watch, F1 and Indy. And we were like, dude, I was like, Nathan, we're up here so early. I said, is the Hall of Fame open today? And he was like, hold on. And he looked, he's like, dude, they open at 10. And we were like arriving at 9:30. We were like, let's fucking go, dude. Like, when are we gonna have this opportunity? Like, when do we get to do this?
Damn, y'all got there hella early for the
race. Just wild. And there's really no reason for us to leave so early. We were just, hey, well, we're going for a race trip. Like, let's get every second of it.
Yeah, of course.
So we showed up to the Hall of Fame like 30 minutes early, parked, and like we're like 10th people in line. There was other people there going, and we were like, dude, fuck yeah. So we went to the Hall of Fame. Definitely, if you're a diehard NASCAR fan, is a must see. Like, it was fucking cool seeing all the nostalgia and all like the cool old trophies and just like history of NASCAR and walking through there is really
I've never been. I've honestly never
A1 freaking.
Was that your first time going to?
Yeah, that was my first time. Never been.
I've never been.
It was really cool. Like, if you're a NASCAR fan, you definitely should check that off your list. It wasn't like, oh my God, I gotta go again. Like, I could definitely, if we're going to Charlotte, would go again. It was fun. Definitely must see if you're a NASCAR fan. But then got done with that. We went and found a little bar down in Concord, and we went and ate there and watched the end of the F1 race and like the pre-race of Indy and stuff.
So that was going to be my question was, did you watch any of the other races that day? Obviously, y'all were busy like all day, but I got to watch all the F1 race and all the Indy 500.
Yeah, like, so we watched, like, I was like, we didn't have sound, and I didn't really care for F1, but I knew it was Monaco and the biggest day of the race in America. I get it. So, like, watched it and drank a beer at the bar, and, like, we got ready to go to the track. We went to the track, and, dude, it was hot as shit. Like, it was hot, but it was nice. And it could have been hotter.
That's how it was here. Yeah, it was pretty warm.
So, like, we sat in the truck and watched the beginning of the Indy race. Service was spotty, but, like, we were pulling up some feed. But then our buddy, alumni of the show, Connor Bunn, showed up. And he hung out with us. And we kind of watched spotty service of the beginning of the Indy race. And then it just, like, the more people that showed, the track was packed. It was great. Traffic flowing in. And it was.
Are y'all tailgating outside the track right now? Is that where you're at?
Yeah. We're out in the parking lot. We're sitting in the AC. I got the truck running. Like,
nice. Yeah.
Thing is, there was plenty of dude. There was tons of people tailgating, tents, cornhole, beers, and Daddy was looking. Like, I liked what I was seeing.
I was gonna ask about the crowd because on TV it looked really good.
Yeah.
Everybody I was with, my whole family.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it was like a younger demographic. Like. And it seemed like it was all college students. Like, I was sitting there like, dude, I was not prepared for this. Like, everybody was partying, tailgating, drinking. And I was like, I just, like, brought a couple beers. Like, what the hell?
My whole family that was there, they're the type of NASCAR fans that, like, used to watch and, they might tune into a race. But
very mixed crowd.
Even they were like, holy shit, is this how, like, all the races are now? Because they were like, that's impressive.
Back,
and I was like, it's getting there. I mean, this is good. Like, I was really stoked.
So, dude, I was, like, looking around. I was like, dude, there's a shit ton of people here. So, service started getting worse, which is fine. And we kind of lost feet of the Indy race, and we were like, whatever. And, I mean, there was a lot of younger crowd there.
Yeah, and so much for that argument that NASCAR can't hit that.
Yeah,
dude, what's that? 18 to 40.
I was literally like, yeah, I like what I'm seeing in Charlotte.
Nice.
And so we were like, hey, let's go to the tents, walk around, go see Shitty Rob. He's in town. Go meet up with some friends.
Did you meet up with Rob?
Yeah, Stock Car Society. Met up with Rob. He fucking sold out. He ran out of coolers to sell. Yeah. He was on one. Shit was popping off Shitty coolers. And then we went and met up with our boys that got to finally meet Stock Car Society guys. They were cool as shit.
Nice.
Talked to them. Then we went walk through the white tents, just looked at some stuff, looked for some die cast. Didn't see nothing really too great. There was a lot of white tents there. It was great. But then we were like, hey, our boys at Sunday for NASCAR, they had their bus in the infield. It was Joe's birthday, and they extended an arm out and said, hey, if you guys want to come into the infield and hang out with us, you are more than welcome to. So we kind of had to, part the seas and figure our way out into the infield, and we did so. And me, Nathan, and Connor Bunn went to the infield, met up with our boys Sundays for NASCAR and Joa and his fiance. And we fucking, dude, he's got it go. I am like fucking jealous. He had it going on with his fucking bus, and I was like, dude, we need a fucking.
Were they
chair.
rocking the watermelon outfit?
Yes,
again?
dude. His old
is
lady.
that his fiance
dude,
that wears that?
his fiance
Yeah.
is the diehard Ross fan, and she's rocking the watermelon. It's fucking 90 degrees outside, and dude, I'm literally like, we have got to get a bus. Like, I want a bus now. I want to camp in the infield. I want to do it all.
So you were sending me like photos and videos. I kind of had an idea of who you were with based on the look of the setup. But
Dude.
explain this bus, because he's been hyping up this bus for like a year and a half, 2 years now. So,
dude, it was fucking badass. He's been hyping up that he wants to make the Skull Bandit bus. It was lit, and I've never watched a race from the infield, so I was like, hey, it was just me and Nathan too. We didn't like have 18 of us, like some of the races get. It was just me and Nathan, and I told Nathan about it. Nathan was totally like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like, when do we get to do this? Like, it's only me and him. Connor tagged along. We went to the infield, got on the bus, and I was like, dude, I was thinking like at first, I was like, let's just watch the first stage or something from the infield.
And if it sucks, we'll just dip out.
Yeah. We were like, let's see what it's like. But dude, like, they had the sickest spot right in between 3 and 4, and I could have like spit a loogie on the cars.
I think I saw y'all actually.
No, dude, it was replaying yesterday, and Felicia turned it on for some reason, and I was looking, and I saw us like 15 times. I could see the bus, like, knowing where we were when they were like panning around filming. I could see the bus every time.
Right?
Like,
yeah, because
I could see us on TV.
When you sent me those photos of like, and I could see behind you there was that Circle K logo off the side a little bit, and I was like, okay, I think I know where they're at. And at one point, I was like, I think that's Dakota, like on the fucking bus.
They had this distinctive like red pop-up tent on the camper too.
Okay.
So like seeing it on TV, when you see that red tent go by, you're like, that was us.
Got it.
Damn.
Okay, so explain the bus. Was it like, was it set up inside? I mean, how?
So they had dude, they got it going on. I am fucking jealous. Like, I'm wanting to get a bus now. And they got like a fucking bed inside, a couple hammock setups, a fan, a generator.
This is the things you can do when you're not a dad, it sounds like.
Yes. So, dude, Joe has got it going on. I loved what I was seeing. It was cool, man. And he's built a little sun deck up top. He's built like a fucking patio up there. Work in progress, but like it held like fucking 10 of us. Like,
I was just gonna ask that. That's more impressive. Is he a fucking engineer? Like
if we had planned ahead and like known, I'd probably would have brought some chairs and like, maybe another tent to put up there or something. But they had a little tent, and like we sat on the edge or stood up half the time. It's fine. Like, we were guests. But, like, it'd been cool to have, like, maybe have some patio furniture up there. But that, it was fine. We were guests. And it was cool as shit. And, dude, the view. Like, again, that's one thing I was like, we'll go to the seats. Like, we'll see how it is. We'll go to the seats. No. So, like, it's almost, like, bowled out in the corner to where if you're on the fence, you're, like, elevated above the rest of the infield. So, where we were on the bus, I could see all of 1 and 2. I could see – the only thing blocking me from the front stretch was, like, the media center. Like, it's a building. So it was blocking the start-finish line, but I could see all of 1 and 2. I could see him screaming down the back stretch all the way into 3 and 4, all the way off 4. I can see the whole – and they had the big-ass screen, the big Jumbotron on the back stretch.
Yeah, that's right. They have a huge screen.
Any replays or anything, we saw fine.
Nice.
Like, only thing I couldn't see was the start-finish line, and that was fine. Like, seeing them screaming off of 2 and then come barreling into 3, like, right in front of you was insane, dude. It was so cool.
Yeah, that's badass, man. So you would recommend doing again?
Dude, I told Nathan, I said, I will do this next year if like they're gonna come back and do it. I was like, I'll buy my own fucking spot and drive my truck in here. Like, this is sick.
Yeah. I think I'm also gonna tag along next year.
Dude,
there's no way I'm missing it
next
again.
year. I told Nathan, I'd love to make a weekend out of it. It just kind of worked out of his day trip for us.
Right. Yep.
But like, I've only gone to the 600. I've never gone for the weekend. And this was my second 600 and it was a banger. But like, talking to Joa, I don't know how all the details are going to work, but it was super affordable, especially the more the merrier. It's like the more people that come, the cheaper it was. And I was like,
really?
dude, I will throw in on this. I'll bring my truck in a tent if I have to.
I was just going to say, I'll bring a tent. I can crash my own tent.
They had the bus. It was tight as fuck, dude, right against the fence. Like, I will definitely – we need to Chairgatin team up with them. And it was sick. Like I've never watched race from the infield. I've always like not looked down on it, been like, that's just not my cup of tea. But maybe even for this race, like Dega, I don't know. But for this race, where they were and how much you could see, I would definitely do it again.
Okay, cool.
It was
and
fucking
then,
sick.
we can do a live episode from the infield.
So that was the thing. Service was like, I still was managed to send you a couple pictures and texts.
Yep.
Like service was, but then like all of a sudden nothing would load, and I couldn't load any app. I definitely couldn't load any apps. But then every now and then, like I'd get a couple text messages, and I'd be like, okay, I guess I have some service.
Okay.
But yeah, it is what it was. I mean, it was super fun, amazing day trip. And hey, we get out of the track, we get in the truck, and I sat in traffic for an hour. I sat in race traffic for a fucking hour.
Nice.
It sucked so good. It was like, oh, racing's back. Okay.
Right. Yep.
This sucks.
Yeah.
But
we got that at Daytona also.
I'll take it. Yeah. It took us an hour to get out of the parking lot.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, oh, it is what it is. It is.
It's one of those, and this is after the race you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you not say like, oh, we'll just sit here for a couple more hours and like drink all these beers?
No. So
that's usually the move.
I literally like, it was just like, we were exhausted. We've been up like 20 hours at this point.
Right.
And like, we're tired. And I literally told Nathan, I had this idea, said, I might just fucking stay parked here and like, let's take like a 30-minute nap.
Yeah.
We had a 4.5 hour ride home.
So that was going to be my next question. You turned around and drove straight home through the night?
Yeah. So it was rough. And
yeah.
I had this idea. I was like, dude, we dropped Connor Bunn back down in Charlotte. But I had this idea of like, why don't we just take a nap, let the parking lot flood out, and just wake up in like an hour, and traffic will be gone, and we'll just leave. Like, we're going to get home late as fuck anyway. But
yeah, at this point.
Like, traffic was inching, and I was like, fuck it, I'm already in the truck. Like, let's just go.
God.
And so we inched our way out. It still took an hour to leave the parking lot. Like, it was bad, but it was like,
and then 4.5 hours back home.
I'm glad it's bad.
I mean, what time did the race even end? I can't even remember.
Like 11:20.
Okay, I thought it was midnight.
We got in the truck at 12:05. I pulled out at like 12:50.
Yeah. Oh boy,
dude,
that's rough.
Yeah, and it was great. Like, I'm glad there's traffic, but fucking damn.
So if we do this again, maybe we just plan to stay.
No. That was the thing. I said, look, this is fine and all. We're grown men, but I was like, we could have easily got a hotel and like left in the morning.
Yeah.
Totally
at least get a couple hours of sleep in.
Hotel or even just camped. Like, it was totally doable, but like, we were just like, hey, we're going to do it. We're going to do a day trip.
That's awesome.
And like, we had yesterday off, or like, you know, we came home and just like I slept in, but I didn't get home till 5:30. It sucked. Like, I drove an hour, then Nathan drove an hour, and then I drove the rest of the way, and that was a rough ride.
So you probably only got like a couple hours of sleep because you had to wake up the next day anyway. Even
I got home at I went to bed at like 6 a.m. and I think I woke up at like 9:30 or 10.
Yeah. You got to get up for Memorial Day.
Yeah, that's what I did.
No,
but it was awesome. Like, the race was so good. Like, I didn't give a fuck about any of that. Like, the race was so good. I loved it.
So that was going to be my next question. Obviously, it's been a discussion, a hot topic for the past couple years. Yeah. Is the 600 too much? Is it too long? That's been brought up a million times. Thankfully, me and you have been on the right side of history on this topic the whole time. Yeah. We've always said, nope, keep it 600. It's one race. Don't shorten it. It's like one race for a reason. Obviously, I think everyone now agrees that watched it on TV. I was just wondering, while you're there, I noticed the stands were kind of getting a little bit looser, coming in like stage 4. It's been a really long race. How was it attending in person for that long of a race?
Dude, so attending in person, like, we were sitting there before the show, like before the race started, and we're like, dude, look at the stands. Like, they looked slammed.
Yeah.
Like,
it looked good on TV too.
We were like, dude, thank God we're not sitting up there. Like, thank God we got invited down here. It was cool as hell, dude. Like, seeing the stands that packed. We were there the year before, and like, that one was completely different, and it was not as packed, but it was still like a good crowd. But this one was like, oh my God, dude, it's slammed. Like, look at that crowd. It's amazing. And yeah, I think there's people at all races, first stage, second stage. They're just glad they came and they leave. They beat the crowd. Like, they beat the rush out. They leave early. They're just there to have a good time. That not necessarily that they give a shit about racing, but like, they're just there for the good time.
Right.
And you could tell some of the stands had cleared out there, but there was still a good crowd at the end.
Yeah.
Like it was still like when stuff happened, you could. That was one thing that was cool from the infield. Like when stuff happened, you heard the crowd like, oh, or like,
Nice.
oh shit, or boo. Like, yeah, you heard the roar
that's cool.
from the stands from the infield, and it was super cool.
I think it's pretty understandable at the 600 to see the crowd kind of move out a little bit. Not a majority, but a lot of the people either have really young kids or are a lot older. And it's a 600 race. Like, I'm not upset about it.
So that's
it's like
one thing.
midnight.
Even before the race, I was like, this is one thing. It's like you watch a whole race and there's still 100 miles to go. And just like this one, we were like, oh, fuck yeah, man. This has been so good. Dude, there's still 100 laps left. And it was like, right, damn.
I thought the same thing watching it on TV. I mean, to be fair, it's the same thing we think every year. But yeah, at the end of stage 3, I think, I was watching it with my dad and he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, no, there's still 100 laps left. And he's like, well, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I was like, I get it.
It's a thing. It's like a thing. Yeah. It's you got to be passionate about it. And this is the one race. It's the 600. Yep. It's like, and this one especially was so special, but it was like, it's the 600, dude. This is the one race a year. It's not like we do this every week. Like, I get hearing the other races, maybe they're too long or whatever, but this one is like, hey, this is the one marathon race. This is the marathon.
So one of my big concerns while watching it, like I said, I watched every race all day. It was an awesome day. It was incredible.
That's the only thing. Indy 500 seemed really good. And I only got to see like pieces.
It was really good. It was really good. And so we watched F1 in the morning. Which, I had like some family that had watched that Netflix show, so they were interested. And I was just kind of bitching about it the whole time. I was like, oh, look, they almost passed for the lead. Oh, no, they didn't. Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, whatever. It's whatever race. I watched it. It was entertaining, but I was like, that's it. That's what everyone's got. Like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Then the Indy 500 comes on, and it's a good Indy 500. And I enjoyed I enjoyed the whole thing, and I was like, uh-oh. Like, once again, NASCAR is going to look like a bitch this weekend.
Dude, how does that Indy 500 crowd?
Right. It was
God, it looked amazing.
Good.
Like, I want to go to the Indy 500 one day before I die. Like, I just want to go.
It's definitely a bucket list. Yeah.
Yeah. Just go and experience it. I don't care what happens.
The crowd was incredible. The pageantry was good. The race was good. And so I was getting a little nervous because I was like, this is what NASCAR stacked up against.
Especially after the All-Star, it was like, God.
Exactly. I wasn't worried so much about the F1 race. I was like, whatever. If people want to watch that over NASCAR, that's on them. I don't know why you would, but it's out there. The Indy 500, I was like, ooh, that's pretty fucking good. And they always beat us. The Indy 500 always seems to be better than the Coke 600 every year. I don't know if it's like the pageantry and the history or whatever it is.
It's the biggest race in the world.
Right. So I'm like, all right, we're stacked up against this. And in the back of my head, I was like, is this the year where I'm like, is the 600 too long? Because the Indy 500 was, it's pretty long. You feel it.
Well, even making the day trip, I was like, am I fucking crazy? Like, this race ain't going to be over to midnight. Like, this race is super long. Like, why did you come here?
Right. Yeah, and as Nathan said, like Monaco, he's saying it's not a good track race. I've heard that from a lot of F1 fans. They were like, don't judge us on this. And that's fine. I get it because in NASCAR, we have to say that all the time.
It's a staple of F1 series.
So I get it. And I watch it. I'll put it on TV every year just because it is that.
I'll tell you, watching it with Nathan at the bar was the most Monaco I've ever watched. I respect it. I just I'm a very ignorant watch distance F1 fan.
That's the thing. I respect what it is. Like obviously, I think every race fan.
But I'm not I gotta watch Monaco.
I think
the Indy 500 I very much appreciate, and it's the one. Typically, it's the one Indy race I like.
It's the only Indy race I ever watched.
And that's
but I will watch it.
That's one thing about I was thinking too is about making the Coke 600 trip, and even if it was a whole week, I think a whole weekend would make it different. But doing the day trip 2 years in a row is I don't really get to watch the Indy 500, and it's one thing. It's one thing I'm like I want to watch the Indy 500, but I'm at the NASCAR race day events. I can't.
Yeah, I get that. That's tough.
Now, if I was staying in the infield, there's plenty of people streaming it that you could probably make friends and go watch it on their TV.
Right. That's
which is
probably the
something
way
to
to.
think
That's
about.
probably the way to do it.
There was,
Honestly.
you know, those rich dads get out there and they have fucking big TVs out at their campers and shit. There were so many people we saw like streaming the race at the race on their
Right.
RV.
Right.
So I was like, man, if I did this again and like did the whole weekend or something and came to the infield with the boys, I was like, I would totally like maybe like go befriend some of these cool old camping dudes and like, hey, y'all watching 8500? Like, I'm gonna watch.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like going up there for a day trip is like we didn't get to watch the race. I caught the first like 10 laps and the last 10 laps.
So Nathan said in the comments that the rumor is F1 isn't going back to Monaco. I
don't
don't
know.
think that there's any chance of that because I'm pretty sure I've
I'm
heard
sure that's a huge like financial like
maybe this
staple event.
is just a rumor or whatever, just a tall tale that people say. I've heard it is the most condensed wealth of any time period in the world.
It looks like Tony Stark race.
They have the most money in a condensed area for any time period in the entire world, like each year. It's like the most money is in this one place. So I don't know why they wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
Because that probably funds everything. Either way, going into the 600, I was a little nervous just because once again the Indy 500 crushed it. But I think it was like the ends of stage 2. And I was like, you know what? This is a really good fucking race. Like, if they keep this up, this is like, I was entertained all the way throughout. Go on.
I remember like there was a lot of calamity, and I'm okay with attrition. But I remember it was like lap 57 and there was like 4 cautions. And I was like, and I'm listening to my scanner, you know, and Rodney's like, yeah, we're gonna run out of tires. Like, we have to like chill out because they were pitting every time, like right off the rip, and making adjustments and getting tires. And Rodney was like, hey, like, I know you probably know this, but like we can't keep pitting. Like, it's we're not even halfway through the first stage. Like, we've already pit 4 times. And then like Nathan was saying too, Truex is like, they were like, yeah, hold on a fucking second. Like, we weren't expecting all these yellows. Kyle Busch spins out from the lead. And here's the thing too. Tire woes still happen, but there was so many guys just fucking losing it. And like
many guys.
Charlotte was like Darlington all of a sudden. The track looked rough. It was bumping. Guys were wheeling
hard to drive.
Tires are blowing. But like guys were just, how many times did we see yellows for guys just spinning out?
Yep.
Like on their own. How many times in the last 3 years have we seen that with the old package and the old card? Never. Like,
Never.
Guys just spinning out, losing control, out of control. I loved it. I kept saying
the amount of times guys got either loose, went through the grass, or made contact with the wall and kept driving and finished their fucking day. Like, that was the incredible part to me. I was like, these dudes are still out there. They've taken damage. With the old car, they would have been done.
Dude, I was very curious. Like, I mean, we went from Kansas, amazing race we both talked about. Went to the All-Star, took a huge 3 steps back. And All-Star Texas clearly was a shit show. But, so I was totally on the fence, like, dude, are these what kind of show will these cars put on at Charlotte? I was like, I'm hoping for a banger. But, like, I'm curious, like, do we see a Texas race? Do we see a Kansas race? Like, what's going to happen? And the cars put on a fucking well of a show. We saw racing from start to finish. The pilot resident made the track. Yeah, fuck the resident. Xfinity race was fucking amazing. That really got my hopes up. I've never seen so many guys ripping the fence at Charlotte. So many guys ripping the high line. It was awesome. And then guys just spinning out on their own. I mean, it was wild.
Yeah, no, it was great. Oh man, should we talk about Kyle Larson?
Kyle Larson spins out all on his own. The greatest of all time spins out all on his own. Comes back to the late laps leading. Kyle Busch spins out all on his own from the lead. Comes back late, battling for the win.
Well, and I think you probably didn't see this because you didn't watch it on TV. They were talking about Kyle Larson quite a bit because
that's what Felicia said. She said they were sucking his dick quite a lot.
They said something about how he had like the most incidents or most cautions in the first half of any race ever, or something crazy like that. Like, he was penalized, I think, more than anybody else.
Oh, dude! So there was tons of road woes. Like the 19, the 4, the 5, the 18, like the 23, of course. Like, so many guys went to the back like 3 or 4 times.
Well, and so that's why they were hyping up Larson, because essentially they're saying like if he ends up managing to win this race, it's almost unbelievable with what he had to come back.
I noticed like just even listening to Scanner was like so many guys just kept like making their way to the front, going to the back, making their way to the front, going to the back, and it was like, dude, what the fuck is going on? But like not seeing pit road, I was kind of like, man, what am I like? That's the only thing is like not see. You just kind of watched them go into pit road and then like watched where they came out. You like we watched the screen for pit stops, but like you couldn't really see anything that was going on pit road.
Right. I mean, I don't know. What are some other topics to discuss from this race?
So Toyota showed the fuck up, I think.
I mean, I think Chevy showed the fuck up.
I think they all did, but Ford did too. But I noticed very early on, Kurt Busch was up there wheeling in Dillon. Bubba had a fast ass car, and Bubba could not hold on to it.
Well, the Bubba fans would say it was his.
Oh, it was his pit crew's fault. He spun out. Oh, yeah. So like that was my only thing. I was like, wow, Bubba's really impressing me. Oh, yeah, there he is. There he goes. And then he gets spun in a wreck, and they fucking like, oh my god, we didn't know we were on the crash clock or something, and they just park it.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was very embarrassing.
Yeah.
But dude, I think the big fucking elephant in the room is Trackhouse showed the fuck out. Trackhouse, our boy Daniel Suarez in the Mi Amigo.
I was ready to wear this. I was hoping he was going to get the dub.
Well, look, in my eyes, it was Ross's race to lose. Ross dominated. Led like 193 laps or something. Ross kicked ass. But Mi Amigo, Daniel Suarez, I was like, I want to see Suarez get this done. Like, this is the best he's looked all season in my eyes. And like went up there and took the lead like 2 or 3 times. He went to the back a couple times.
Dude,
went up there and took the lead. Like
he would run past cars. I don't know what Trackhouse figured out. I don't know what they got under the hood. But
dude,
he would just
so good.
He would just run past cars. I mean, it was wild. And this is kind of what I meant. Like Chevy showed up because there was Ross and Suarez both competing for a win. You had Chase, you had Kyle Larson, you had like Tyler Reddick was up there for a while. I don't know. I just felt like Chevy was dominating, but of course it didn't end up.
I felt like Toyota, like Chevy looked great. Like Trackhouse showed the fuck out, and Chevy looked good, but Toyotas looked really good. And there were some Fords up there. Chris Buescher, our boy Beans, was like in the top 10 the whole night. Well, Ricky Stenhouse in a Chevy. The whole top 10 the whole night. I kept telling Nathan, I go, look at the top 10, dude.
Dude, Stenhouse,
like, the whole top 10 was fucking weird. Chase Briscoe, Cole Custer were fucking flexing hard on the second half. Cole Custer was passing Joey Logano for 4th. I was like, what the fuck is going on in this race? I was tripping, dude.
And we do, I think, need to bring up, because I think Nick brought up a great point here, talking about how Suarez's pit crew just kept losing him spots.
That's what I couldn't tell. He kept falling back. Like
they would come off pit road, and he would lose spots, and then within like 2 laps, be back up to the front. It was crazy.
Just imagine if they were giving him good stops.
Austin Dillon had essentially the opposite. His pit crew would have him move up like 4 spots every stop.
Our boy
and he would just slowly fall back again. Dude. I was like, is this his strategy? Like, what is he doing?
Yeah, that was the thing, dude. Even like, mainly watching Kevin and I was so confused because Kevin, like, it was the weirdest fucking night. He passed a couple cars, then they lost 10 spots on pit road, and he's cussing out his pit crew on the radio, and then he'd pass 10 cars back. Then on pit road, they'd gain him 5 spots, and he'd be like, good job, guys. And then he'd lose 10 spots on the race. And then he'd go pit, and they'd lose him 10 more spots, and he'd pass 20 cars. And I was like, dude, what is going on? Like, no matter what, Kevin would drive from 30th to 12th, like, every fucking time, and, like, somehow just ran 15th the whole night. How he finished 3rd was a miracle. No, they did not deserve that. A lot of guys didn't deserve where they ran, but a couple guys did. The whole top 10 there for like the last 70 laps, I was like, does Reddick get it done tonight? Like, can Reddick do this? And he fucking blew a tire, and I was so devastated. But then I was like, at the end, like, I was like, I want Ross to win it. Ross has earned this race. and
It
Ross
was him or
got
Suarez, in
fucked.
my opinion. I would
Ross got
cool.
fucked. Suarez got really fucked. We saw a lot of attrition. Early on, halfway, Ryan Blaney lost talent and just fucking creamed the whole field. Took out a lot of heavy hitters there. We see Suarez get dumped by Chase Briscoe. A racing deal there. Takes out the whole field and fucking – I thought turf was supposed to not tear up these cars. How many cars we saw spin through the turf? But, dude, our old boy Beans, Chris Buescher, went for a tumble.
Well,
it was like the hub dug into the turf or something.
No. See, you don't know. You don't know what happened.
Give me the spill.
This is what okay. It wasn't the turf at all. It wasn't. At first, they
it was
thought
like a sewer drain or something?
No. Check this out. This is an interesting.
All right.
So it took a while to like keep rewatching.
I saw
the
Instagram
replay.
clips.
And essentially what happened, you know how the wheels are have the tether to not fly off when they come loose? What happened was he's sliding sideways and the tire's coming off, but because it won't detach from the car, it went underneath the car and it caught the tire and then it started rolling. So it actually was the tire itself. The car kind of did what it was supposed to do and it was sliding over, but yeah, the wheel got underneath it.
Damn. It was like we're seeing when they would go out four, we'd watch and then like you kind of lose sight. So you could see the screen clear as day and they're filming. So like you'd go just watch the screen and then watch them come back into one. It's kind of like you got in a motion of it. And it was fine. And we go to the screen and you see Suarez like, whoa, and lose it. And you're like, oh shit. Like, oh shit. And you're watching it. And then you're just seeing like calamity and cars spinning. And then all of a sudden you just see the 17 like, and you're like, holy fuck. Oh my God. Like, dude, like being in a race, seeing a car flip, you're like, holy shit.
Nothing like it. Yeah.
Well,
like it.
And then Beans is upside down. And I get like the protocol is to turn them back over before getting them out of the car. So I was kind of thinking that in the back of my head, but I was like, yo, like they haven't turned that fucking car over.
It took a while. So
yeah, and I was kind of like, oh my God, I hope Beans is okay.
So Clint also addressed that, which we'll talk about the Fox booth in a minute. But Clint addressed that because he said essentially it's like impossible to get out of the cars when they're upside down because you loosen up and then your weight just falls onto and it's like
I think it's safer to turn them over.
Yeah, so he said right when he flipped, he's like, nah, they're gonna flip it over. Like he won't be able to get out of that car.
I've been here before.
Yeah, exactly. And let's see. Connor Bunn said, "Go Ross Chastain." Still ringing in my ear. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Joe's girl was wild.
Where y'all were, bro. Who y'all were with. So I just want to break down the finish of this race, the multiple finishes we had of this race, essentially, because I tweeted it out during the race. We had it was Briscoe battling Larson, right?
Dude.
At the end.
Fucking epic. For 20 laps watching Briscoe hunt down Larson and like it just felt so old school. Like I thought we were teeing it up to have a side-by-side finish. I thought we were really teeing up and Briscoe was being like trying to be professional about it and like race them and work them. And like he clearly had the better car those closing laps. And like it was so fun. I'm rooting for Briscoe as a SHR fan, and seeing so many Larson wins, I was like, come on, Briscoe, come on.
And who doesn't want to see a good battle?
How's it? Yeah, any good battle for the lead. And they were coming to like 13-9 to go or something. Yep. Like, I was like, holy fuck. And then when he just sailed in there and lost it, I was like, no! Like, fuck!
So I tweeted it like during the race. I was like, the last thing I want right now is a wreck and a caution.
I wanted to go green. I was
like, this race needs to end green with these two battling for the win.
I was okay with it. Even if Larson won, like I was okay
as long as it's
seeing that battle finish.
As long as it's just a good battle, that's all I wanted to watch. And that's what we had for a long time. I tweeted the last thing I want is a caution. I think I tweeted that like a minute before before Briscoe wrecked.
And it changed everything. It changed.
So obviously everyone listening that watched, it changed everything. And retroactively, I was like, the last thing I want is a caution. It'll ruin this race. I think I said it'll spoil it a little for me. I didn't say ruin, but I was like, it'll ruin it a little bit. Looking back, I'm like, it didn't ruin it at all. Surprisingly. Sure, it would have been badass to watch that be the finish, but the finish we got ended up being great too.
Yeah.
So we lead into what ends up being like essentially the next finish, right? Because we have to
The
go.
money. Well, we had money stops, and like 4-5 cars took 2 tires, and I was like, "This is gonna be interesting."
Right. Connor says best race from start to finish ever watched.
Dude, it was so good. It was so good to finally catch up with Connor, like being at a race and everything, dude. It was like the whole fucking day was just like perfect, man. Like it was just missing you. Like it was just like, dude, I am not having a bad time. Like everything about this has been fucking fun. Good vibes, the bros, the race, like the whole race. We're like, oh shit, oh, like there was never one moment where I was like, I'm ready to go home.
Right. Which is crazy to say for a 600.
Yeah, it's Charlotte, the 600. Like
that's a long race.
Yeah, there was some green flag runs, but like there was never like I don't want to watch this anymore.
There's been 600s where I'm like, this is getting rough. Like
I went last year and Larson spanked the shit out of him, and I was like falling asleep halfway.
Yeah, even at So
this was like wow, dude, and so many like guys having problems going to the rear and coming back, back.
Yep. So obviously we have that wreck, go to caution, and then they go green flag with 2 left. And this is where, as an Austin Dillon fan,
fucking Hail Mary from the top rope.
And what's funny is I was telling my family that was all kind of making fun of what I said before, how Austin's pit crew would gain him some spots and he'd lose them. And he was just sitting around like 16th, right? The whole race. And I was like, y'all don't watch enough to know Austin Dillon. At the end of the race, if he has not been caught up in a wreck, he will be in the top 10. And you'll say, where the fuck did he come from?
Right.
Lo and behold, here we come with 2 laps left, and they go 3 wide out of nowhere. Dude. I don't know what the angle was for you on TV. Dude. What I see is them battling for the lead, and out of nowhere, the 3 just sneaking down, and I go, what the fuck? Where did Austin Dillon just come from?
We had the sickest view, like looking at 1 and 2, and the cars are coming at us. And they dive into 3 and 4 right in front of our fucking face, like right in front of us.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dude, so Austin Dillon on that restart jumped to the top and like Hail Mary railed the whole 1 and 2. And like he was like 6th, 7th, 8th, and just had a head of steam coming backstretch. And I'm watching him, and I'm like, watch Austin Dillon, look at Austin Dillon. And he goes, Sue.
He had so much momentum.
I saw him have the run, but I didn't know what he was going to do with it.
Right.
And I am so glad he pulled his balls out and fucking sent it. And
at least he tried.
When he made the move, it was right in front of us. And at that moment, I was like, Austin Dillon's about to win this race. Oh, my God. Like, I was thinking, too, I was like, what if Austin won and you didn't come? I was going to, like, laugh so fucking hard. And Austin made that Hail Mary move, and the tires stuck. Like, I don't know, just seeing him that close was so – it's hard to describe. You saw him diving in there, and like just seeing that close where we were, you saw the tires stick. Like it was right in our face, dude. Like he dove in, and when he slid up into Larson, he was right in front of us. And like you saw the tires stick, and you knew he had 4 tires, and Larson had 2, and you saw him taking off. But then Ross went up top, and Denny dove low, and they were 4 wide coming off of 4.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like what is going on? And then it kind of looked like Larson got loose, but Austin kind of cleared himself. And I mean, they're 4 wide off of 4 at Charlotte. Like it is what it was.
I'm glad I didn't see a lot of Austin Dillon hate online. Yeah, because immediately when that happened, I was like, "Oh God, everybody's gonna fucking tweet at me, talking shit." And
what was he? I mean, what was he gonna not go for? It's
exactly that was gonna be my argument back. Is like, dude, it was the 600.
Coke 600 did.
He knows how to get it done there. Like, I'm glad he went for it. It sucks that it ended that way as a fan.
We talked about before the race. I said, you know what sucks is like Connor says like racing 600 miles and then like wrecking out with 5 to go.
Right.
You just race the whole race and then you wreck.
But at least he wrecked out with 2 to go for the lead. The worst part is the guys that are like intent that are like, what the fuck, dude? Get caught up in some shit, you know?
So that was one thing is apparently Larson was shifting into 3 and 4. Like you could see him let off in the backfire from the exhaust, but like you could hear him like grabbing another RPM and then shifting. And it was like he found right there the first stint before Briscoe was running him down is he like gapped Briscoe and Larson. And you could be like, dude, he is like found another gear. Like, what's going on? Literally. And then all of a sudden, I don't think he really had the best car, but like he figured out shifting, I guess, halfway through the race. And he was ripping it through 3 and 4. And then, but finally, I think his car and tires, as Briscoe started catching him.
Right.
And I thought, too, when Briscoe and Larson were battling, I was like, they're going to get to battling, and Chastain's going to catch right up to him.
That's another thing. Yeah. It's like he had the best car out there, honestly.
So, yeah, Ross had the best car. He just got beat on that restart.
Yeah, him and Suarez, I mean, Trackhouse together. They had.
But then that 4 wide off of 4 was sick, dude. And guys got through it and guys didn't. That restart there, I was like, ooh, what's Kyle Busch gonna do? And he raced Denny. He raced Denny's balls off, and I was
that's
like,
the thing.
He's not gonna send him. Like, he's gonna race him respectfully.
Right.
And
Well, and I think after like the third caution, we're like, all right, let's just fucking end this 600.
So
I think even Kyle
Gibbs won 2. Denny gets his first 600. I've been to so many Denny wins, and this one I was like, good for Denny, man. Like,
so
fuck yeah, his first.
Before
600.
we get into Denny, just want to reiterate. We have the finish with Larson and Briscoe that doesn't happen. We have the finish with Austin Dillon and Larson that doesn't happen. So we finally get the finish. But I can't remember the last time it felt this way. My phone died with like 20 laps to go. And I couldn't get off the couch to go get the charger because it was upstairs because I didn't want to miss a second. Like, that's how good this race was. I was like, fuck it, my phone's dead. I'm just not like
the race had everything. It had everything.
I want to be tweeting, but it was like 20 to go, and I'm watching this Briscoe Larson battle, and I was like, I'm not getting off the couch. I'm not leaving this race. That's how good the 600 was. I wouldn't get up to go get a phone charger.
Yeah, dude. Like, that was one thing. It was, even though it was a long race, is like every minute of it, I was super stoked and like happy to watch it.
And that was kind of my point, as Connor makes here, was initially I tweeted a caution would ruin this race for me. And then I get the Austin Dillon 4 wide, and I'm like, that might have been even better than the last one. And then honestly, the battle between Denny and Kyle Busch, although it was the least exciting, was still good. It was still an entertaining battle to watch for even how short it was. I was so still like, this is pretty fucking good. Even this one. Yeah.
The whole race was fun, man. It was like, it literally like sewed me in where I was like, I think I'm going to come back to this race like every year. Or try to. Like,
it's convinced me.
Definitely next year. Like, I'm going to 600 next year.
Who knows if it'll be as good next year, but because it was this good this year, I'm convinced I have to go next year just in case it's as good.
Well, dude, not even that. Like, racing aside, NASCAR puts on such a good fucking showing for this race.
For the 600,
the military tributes, like I sent you some videos. Like, dude, they put on a fucking like full on like gives goosebumps fucking military tribute.
Well, they're trying to step up because they're competing against Monaco and.
Well, I went last year and it was still as fucking sick. It's just like it just get like it's like this is like the home track. Charlotte, Memorial Day, like, dude, this is sick. Like, this is sick.
Well, they've been trying to convince people for a long time that this is like, it's a crown jewel. It's a crown jewel for NASCAR.
You go and you're like, yeah, this is a crown jewel.
It's a crown jewel for NASCAR. All NASCAR fans acknowledge that. But I think they try to convince just motorsport fans in general, like, hey, this competes with the Indy 500. This is our thing. Like, tune in. And this race finally kind of solidified it. Where I was seeing F1 fans and Indy fans tweeting like that was the best race of the day. Like, can't believe NASCAR pulled this off. This race was like we said at the very beginning of the show. This was the best 600 I've ever watched.
Yeah, I've been watching these a long time, and I've seen some fun ones, but this one, like, next gen fucking expertise. Like, this car showed out. The race showed out. It was so fucking good. Like, every bit of it was just like, dude, creme de la creme of races we've seen this year. Even though this was the longest one, like, it was so good.
And that's another point that I wanted to bring up. This was the longest 600.
Yeah. And here's the thing. So we talked about Texas being a shit show. Imagine if we had this racing for the All-Star at Charlotte the week before. Like, we wouldn't have been talking about a shitty Texas race. We've been talking about a badass All-Star.
We probably would have been talking about how badass back-to-back weeks have been for NASCAR and how they haven't missed yet.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we've talked about some of the races. We rate every single one, and there's been some that aren't as good as others, but we've consistently said, hey, it's better than what we had at this track last year. Texas All-Star was the only one that we were like, no, this was just bad for any year for NASCAR. So if you take that out, like NASCAR's just killed it every single week this year. So I can't imagine how much better it would have been at Charlotte.
Dude, we threw out, like, walking out, like, debriefing, talking about our thoughts of the race. We were throwing out, like, race of the year so far.
I mean, we'll wait till we get to our rating.
Well, it's fucking coming up.
It's about to come up. Yeah, it's about to come up. No, something I did want to talk about before we get into that, though, is Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, we got to talk about because
Matt Daddy, Pimp Daddy.
Well, and first of all, Pimp Daddy for sure. What was that on his Insta that you sent me?
Dude, that fucking
of him with the ring and like on the boat.
He's like
yeah, yeah, dude.
7 a.m. sunrise with the trophy with a fucking mixed drink. Dude, I am loving Denny by the second.
I am too. You sent me that, and I was like, "Shit, am I a Denny Hamlin
fan?" Where did this just come from, dude?
Dude, Denny Hamlin, stop flirting with me.
Am I a lesbian?
Yeah. Why are you making me fall in love, dog?
God, dude,
I'm
Denny
married.
Is fucking,
Leave
Denny
me
is
alone.
Cool, dude. And he does not get the respect he deserves.
So Jeff Gluck brought it up in a tweet. Is Denny Hamlin now the greatest NASCAR driver to never win a championship?
Ever? I just think currently, yeah. Ever? I think he's like literally side by side with Mark Martin.
Yeah.
Like he is our modern day Mark Martin.
Well, because to Jeff's point was he wins like so many crown jewel races. Like he wins the big ones. He wins the Daytona 500s, the Southern 500s, the Coke 600, the races that you remember.
Bristol
he wins them. He shows up and wins the big ones. He just never gets it done.
He hasn't got the championship yet, but what do we do when he does?
Well, I feel terrible for saying this, and I feel terrible for Denny Hamlin and his fans. But in the back of my head, I'm kind of like, I wouldn't hate if he never won one, just so he always kind of is that guy that we talk about. If he wins one, I mean, what it's like he's just kind of like another Brad K or Kurt. It's like, hey, they won a championship once. If he doesn't, he's a guy that you talk about forever. Of you remember Denny and how he never won one, and he had the best career. So it's gotten to that point that I'm like,
and I love his fucking attitude and his style. Like, and what was iconic was his fucking DJD podcast the week of, and then goes out and wins the 600. I was like, I mean, everybody that's a NASCAR fan listened to that podcast and was like, okay, Denny. Yeah. Denny's not afraid to fucking say shit.
He calls them out.
He calls NASCAR out, and I love it.
While people are getting fired from NASCAR for just speaking the truth.
More and more, I'm like, God, Denny is like fucking pimp, dude.
He's always been like that.
And he keeps like fucking showing out. And I'm like, oh my God.
I'm sure you remember years ago, I think it was Bubba's rookie year, full time in the 43, I want to say. It was the year that Austin Dillon won the Daytona 500 and Bubba got second.
18.
Was that his rookie season full time in the 43? I don't know. Either way,
Bubba's stats.
Either way, the preseason right before that race, Denny went on Pardon My Take on Barstool,
really,
and said that every driver's addicted to Adderall. Do you remember that?
I remember the Adderall comment. And
yeah.
Like,
so Denny's always been that dude. That's just like, I don't fucking care. I'm just gonna speak the truth. And by the way,
Denny keeps it real.
And it really bugged me even back then that all the NASCAR drivers just were talking shit. Like Bubba was like, "Oh, looks like you need some more Adderall." I fucking hated Bubba back then. Even before all this shit, I was like, fuck that dude. Because
Bubba's really good at running his fucking mouth.
And you know what? Denny's speaking the truth. Like, I don't care that y'all take Adderall. You drive in a car for fucking 4 hours straight at 200 miles an hour sometimes.
Bro, I get it.
I need Adderall. I drive for 3 hours at 70 miles per hour and I need Adderall. So I'm not mad that y'all take Addy. It was just weird that they all attacked him for it. So Denny's always been that dude.
It was a big backlash.
Yeah.
I love Denny, dude. I am so team Denny. I'm not buying like a FedEx hat yet, but like I fucking love Denny, dude.
That's the thing. Unless he came out,
branches out and starts his own fucking team with Michael Jordan. Like, who the fuck does that? Like,
that's another great point. The dude just pulls out MJ out of his back pocket and is like, "Oh, yeah, I'm still racing, but now I own a fucking team with Michael Jordan."
Yeah, like I mean, just like. Denny is an awesome, amazing driver, but also is like laying his fucking seeds for when he's done.
And let's just point out the fact that I mean, Brad Cates' his first year in that team, but Denny, his team, is doing well. They're performing. It
Yeah.
looks like a successful team for the future.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
like everything I'm seeing over there. Besides Bubba's marketing, yeah, dude, they're great. I love 2311. I'm also like, so we tease like, does 2311 go to the third car? I think that happens. Who comes up in the Toyota camp to go to
oh my god,
2311?
everybody won't shut up about Kyle Busch going to.
I don't see. No, I think Kyle retires in 18.
That's the thing. I'm like, why would he
but
leave?
does Denny go over there and race a car? I don't. I'm 50-50 on that. But Kurt's got a year or two left. So who goes to the 45? They're going to fill a third time. So there's 2 open seats in my eyes in the future at 2311, and they're competitive cars.
A lot of people have talked about them getting rid of Bubba.
Nah, I think Bubba's there till he dies.
Well, not not that long, but I don't see them getting rid of him anytime soon. At least
Bubba's a great marketing scheme.
Exactly, he's there for a very long time until he
Bubba
messes up. I mean,
some stats and sales.
He's one of the few guys that doesn't have to win and can keep his ride.
I mean, if you fire Bubba, you're racist, so you can't. So
that's my point. It was the same thing we had with Danica.
One
of the few drivers that gets money thrown at them without a win. So it's a great situation to be in for them.
Exactly.
Do you want to go straight into rating this one?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Even being there, I don't know what your TV rating was, but
I will get them written down. Why don't you give me yours?
I'm so backlogged. I need to go back and watch episodes and write down our ratings.
I got them all written down.
Okay, cool. I'm going straight into just being there.
Wait, by the way, I just want to throw out there, Texas All-Star, I gave a 3.1. You gave a 2.8. Kansas, I gave an 8.3, and you gave an 8.6. Just as kind of a little info for what we've been rating.
All right, cool, because I already know what I'm rating this one.
All right, what do you got?
This Coke 600 at Charlotte was a 9.0.
A 9.0.
My highest rating of the season.
All right.
Race of the year.
Okay. 9.0. Got it locked in.
My first Niner.
All right.
Now, you watch on TV. What did you get?
Do you think I'm going to finally crack 9?
No.
No? Okay. Well, you're wrong. 9.6, baby.
What? 9.6. Oh, my God.
9.6. It's one of the greatest races I can remember.
I was being stingy.
I know. No, I'm like, yeah. There's only a couple more spots between that and perfect. Like,
I was thinking 9.1 or 9.2, but I was like, I'll do a 9. I haven't done a 9. 8.9 was my highest, and that was Atlanta.
I know that I haven't even cracked 9, but this one I'm like, fuck it. Shooting through 9.
Damn, you were wilding, boy.
I loved that race.
Dude, I loved every bit of it. Good. I loved every bit of it, and I was there, and like it was one of those like, I'm so glad I came to this race. Me and Nathan talked about it. I was like, can you imagine if we sat at home and we're like, we should have went?
That's what I said the whole time.
Yeah, we should.
So you would have been like me. That's what I said.
No, we were like, I am so glad I was at this race.
Samantha was like, are you like bummed that you missed it? And usually I'm like, no, it's fine. I stayed home. Like, it's okay. I can catch it next year. This one, I was like, yeah, to be honest, I'm really upset I missed this race. I was like, this is one of the best races I've ever seen. Like, I'm really disappointed I've missed this race. I'm not.
Yeah, it was fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
Like, the whole time, just even like not even like lead. I don't know what TV was showing, but there was battles like all over the track. And there was a couple times like 3 or 4 or 5 guys were battling for like 11th, and they were like swapping positions, and like God get a run and pass 2 cars, and they'd pass them back, and there was so many battles all over the track.
Do you want to do a quick the good, the bad, and the ugly? I know it's a little different because you're there.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into just a quick good, the bad, and the ugly. What do you got?
The good was the Coke 600 is back. Like, this was iconic, great fucking race. Coke 600, dude.
Okay. The good for me was literally everything. Everything was good. Everything was good about this fucking race, dude. I had so much fun. It was a great day. I was with my family. My grandma's 90th. The next day was Memorial. And on top of all that, the race was incredible. I was so happy. Everything was good. Everything was good. All right, what's the bad for you?
I don't know. I know we're fighting like implications with like start times and the Great American Day of Racing. But to me, it was like this could have started at 5, started at 6. I'll say bad was like, I mean, it ended at midnight. Could have ended at 11. It could just be an hour earlier. It's a long race. I don't know. Being there, I was like, goddamn, 6 o'clock. It is what it is. 600. You know what you're getting. You're signing yourself up for. But I was like, it doesn't have to start so late.
Yeah. I was trying to think of something bad. I want to point out that Fox broadcasts all actually did pretty good. They weren't perfect.
I think I've heard nothing but good things about Jimmy.
They weren't perfect. I do need to address that. Some people are like, they're
Felicia
incredible.
said they were
knocked it
making
out of
a
the
lot of
park.
inappropriate jokes.
Yeah, they're like, they knocked it out of the park. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I just watched the Indy 500. They knocked it out of the park. I watched F1.
Just watching the beginning of NBC in the truck on the phone, watching the NBC Indy 500 was nothing but professional. Nothing but elegant, professional broadcast. Gave me nothing but what's going on about the race, and nothing was gimmicky or funny.
See, Nick said right there, Fox missed action due to commercials. Yeah, and they do it all the time. That happens.
So that was going to roll me right into my ugly.
So but I do want to mention, it was a lot better than we've seen from them. Like, for sure. They stepped it up, and they did really good for their standard. And I was happy, actually. I'm giving them bad just because it's Fox, and compared to what we had at the other 2 races, it was not as good. But honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like, they did a lot better than they used to do.
I heard a couple bad things. So that was going to roll me right in my ugly was some of the rich campers next to camp. They had the TV play. They had Fox broadcast playing on the big screen TV at their big ass RV. And so sometimes, like when we couldn't see the screen good enough, we were watching their TV for replays. And it was one of the spins. It might have been Noah Gragson or Bubba spinning off a 4. And we went to watch the TV. Like caution. And we saw them spinning on the big screen. And then we looked at their TV and it was on commercial. And we were like, oh my God. Like, we were like, oh my God. Like,
no, we missed that. We did miss some action.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. And then
some driver even tweeted about it. I don't
Justin
know.
Haley blew up like hardcore right in front of us in 3 and 4. And I heard that Fox didn't even like talk about it.
Yep. So I can't remember what driver, but they mentioned it. They were like, after watching like the commercial free F1 and like the pageantry from Indy, and then coming to NASCAR and just having commercial, it was a little like, ugh. But it is what it is.
It's Fox.
It's Fox, yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest, for me, the ugly is nothing.
Ooh.
I can't remember the last time I watched a race and wasn't upset about one little thing.
You know, one thing I love is that Fox sits here and eats all the crow and bites the bullet the first half of the season, and then we go to amazing NBC coverage. But
you still hype up NBC too much, in my opinion.
I love NBC.
It's not amazing.
What if we went in great NBC coverage and then went to Fox?
Yeah, that would be interesting. Flip it around.
God.
Yep.
Yeah, it would suck.
You know what? Actually, I'm with Nick here. My ugly is I didn't get to be there.
Ooh,
that's a great one. That is a good one. I wasn't there, and that is eating me up inside.
Yeah, it was fucking great, dude.
No, great coverage.
Nathan had a great day, if that tells you anything.
Oh, well, that's I thought that was impossible.
Nathan had an amazing time.
No, great coverage is when you watch F1.
Yeah.
I don't like F1, but their coverage is really good. They know how to
broadcast.
Yeah, so that's good broadcasting. I don't know. Next week we're going.
Hey, Gateway, dude. They're going to Gateway. First time Cup cars are going there. I remember watching some Busch races there in my day. It was a fun little track. I'm very curious how these cars, like, do we see a good show or do we see like a Texas race? I have no idea. No idea what we're in store for. I think it'll be better than Xfinity's in fucking Portland. God, what
that's right.
What a dumbass idea. Who the fuck agreed to that? I have no idea. Portland is like fucking ground zero for World War VII. Like, why the fuck would you take a fucking business there? No idea. They're running some road course or something. I'm very curious to watch and see what the fuck that's like. But Gateway, dude, I think it's gonna be okay. I don't see this as a permanent state. Like, I see this as being like a temporary race.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't see Gateway being like the new, like, next 10 years is on the schedule.
I'm just glad that they're trying it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Like I'm a good like. I'll watch it. We'll see what happens.
Right. Yeah, it's worth a try. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it does well.
Yeah.
They get another race up in that area. That's cool.
Yeah,
Like they lost
new
Chicagoland.
market. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Gateway, man. I have no idea who will do good or do bad. I fucking
That's
know.
the thing. That's the thing. I was gonna say, I guess we can make picks, but of all the
Shooting
tracks,
from the
this
hip.
one is the we know the least about. We don't know who's gonna do well there.
My at the line pick straight off for momentum. I'm picking Denny Hamlin.
You're gonna pick Denny Hamlin to win.
Denny Hamlin to win. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, momentum is key.
Okay. What about
Totally going backwards.
What about an underdog pick?
Underdog pick. I am gonna go. That boy, 4 top 10s in a row. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is fucking flying.
Yeah, what?
Dude.
Where the fuck has he been for the past like 5 years?
Dude, he was in the top 5 like half of the fucking race at the Coke 600.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's flying, dude.
No, he's been doing really
definitely having some good luck.
Yeah, no, he's been doing good for
They're bringing good cars.
a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Ross just because, like, why not? He's always up there battling.
Yeah, I think Ross definitely gets another win. Ross gets another win before playoffs.
And then I'm gonna go Briscoe for my underdog pick.
Ooh, I like that pick.
Yep.
It was great to see Briscoe up there running good again.
Yeah, exactly.
It may not be every week, but when he's got a good car, he's taking advantage of it.
Well, we have so many good like young guys right now. It'd be nice to see him kind of keep up with like Cindric and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Cindric, damn, fuck. Rookie season. That's all I keep saying with Cindric is I'm like, it's his rookie year, man. Whatever.
Right. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if he gets another win too? Like,
yeah. I mean, he's been fast. He qualifies, practices fast, and
that's
he
the
ran
thing.
good.
Yeah.
But damn, he blew his tires. But like, he wads him up. But like, he's fat. He's at least showing speed.
Oh, definitely. He's up there. Yeah. Like I'm watching him. So.
Yeah.
Well, Nick was asking, since this was the longest Coke 600 ever, is this going to be the longest Chairgatin podcast episode ever? And because we started at 9, I said there's no fucking way. But I appreciate wanting it to be.
Yeah, Nick.
And Nick is going with Truex for the win and Seabell for the underdog pick.
Wow.
Those are good picks.
Seabell made the playoffs last year, so he doesn't count.
Wait, is that what the rule was?
Yeah, he can't make the playoffs.
Oh shit, I forgot the rule that we made.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, I think that's gonna about do it.
I'm good with it, man.
It's pretty late.
It was a good fucking race. I am so excited. Like the season, whether we take a couple steps back on some of the races, has been. I see it as I don't know what race we're on now. But we've had 2 bad races. We've had the All-Star, doesn't count, and we had Martinsville. But, like, every race has been pretty fucking good. Compared to the last 2 years, like, this is the car is hitting them out of the park.
And like I said, other than the All-Star race, the All-Star race really was just Texas being Texas.
It was Texas.
Other than that, though, even the bad races, it's like, hey, it's better than we've seen.
Yeah.
So
Amazing racing. NASCAR's back. The crowds are looking great.
The crowds are looking good.
We're only going up, dude. We're going up.
The energy is there. The equipment is there. The product on the track is there. The drivers are there. Everything's going so good.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that we just had like one of the worst races ever.
Yeah.
With one of the best races I've ever seen.
I know.
It was just
it's like it's fucking day and night. It's almost as fucking great as the savings you could get on yeatsofficial.com with discount code Chairgatin for 10% off with some badass shades. Get you to Yeats Official sponsoring Chairgatin podcast. I mean, if you want to look cool in school, baby, as almost cool as that Coke 600, get you some Yeats shades and look cool at your next race.
You're goddamn right. That was a good transition. Also, fair. One more thing before we go. Can't wait to see these on Homestead.
Dude, I think Homestead's fucking insane.
Oh, yeah.
And it's in the playoffs.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, Homestead's going to be great. That's going to be a race I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
All right.
I almost want to go.
Next week, I guess this weekend, actually.
Oh,
Tune in for a special live Chairgatin episode live from just outside Atlanta, Georgia in the Rutledge Dome.
boy.
We'll be together watching the race.
The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
Maybe we'll do the live episode like right after the race.
That'd be cool. See
So
who
Sunday
watches.
night.
But like, yeah, do Sunday night live episode after the race, and like we'll be down there in the man cave, and we can totally just shoot the shit.
Yep. So everybody, stay tuned for that. It'll probably just be right after the race. We'll do a live recap.
That'd be straight. Get it out of the way.
There you go.
Hey.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. See y'all this weekend. After Gateway.
Enjoy Gateway.